Good morning, 5:45. Let's see what lights we're greeted with today. Hopefully most of those go out. Okay. Good sign so far. Put the seatbelt on. Brake off. Nothing yet. We'll keep you updated. I'm going to try the adaptive cruise control. I predict another malfunction, though before it could have malfunctioned because it saw that initially there was a steering code stored. Right now there wasn't on the startup. Yeah, active cruise control malfunction. So no cruise control. We're going to have to scan and figure out why. And that's 80 miles an hour, 3,300 RPMs. Seems high, but he's got the M5 rear end in here with the GS653BZ transmission, so that's just how it works with a 3.15 ratio rear end. The factory rear end for a 545 manual was probably something like a 291, I'm guessing. The minecart is getting an MPI today, and we're finally able to see what these atrocious springs are. So this is BC Racing Type BR with these puny little tightly woven springs way up there. Now, here's what's weird. When the car's on the lift and the suspension's drooping, this brake hose here should make a right angle. So it should be about here, which means the wheels are not drooping down at all. Look how flat the axles are. The axles shouldn't be perpendicular or parallel to the ground. This swing arm should be down here, not up there. So it's just way, 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 way too low, way too stiff. That mount here is about to pull out. This is supposed to be like this, even hanging down a little bit. The exhaust sits low because of these weird resonators. It's not even symmetrical. I don't know, the suspension has caused a lot of problems on this car. Take a look at the chassis here. That is not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like this, except for that. I wonder if this has been lifted with a forklift or something. I mean, that is really bad damage. Like that, holy crap. You would have had to feel that pretty good. But you don't see anything here. Like this is lower, so if it crashed down after jumping high airborne or something, it would have landed on that. I don't see any indication of that, so I don't know what happened to that. Otherwise, kind of the usual stuff under here. I mean, just plastic so brittle. Look at that. That's not even like plastic anymore. This is real common to see this. I mean, that's plastic, supposedly a material that lasts forever, and it does, but it breaks down into a million little pieces and then lasts forever. Looks like the wheel's scuffed there. Wow. There's the markings on it. I don't know what is wrong with the factory suspension. You're not going to make it handle any better by changing struts and springs. Yes, laugh at me. It won't. The Sachs handling was sublime. Nothing, crazy bad under here, but it needs some stuff. We got 12 mil spacers, H&Rs, and a surprisingly large gash in this rear fender liner. Okay, update on Floaty. So Nate drove it, when was that? Monday night. And felt something in the steering that I had overlooked, and we got to look at the center tie rod and the outer tie rods. Everything's new, as I've said. Literally everything in the front suspension minus the springs. And what we found is in the idler arm, which is this guy right here, we have a touch of play in this bearing here that allows it to swivel back and forth. I've checked the torque on all of these nuts and bolts up here. Everything's at spec, but as you move the wheel or grab the wheel and try to move the wheel, we can see a little bit of play right there. Let me show you the clip. So I don't think that should be there. We can look on another car, but I've ordered another arm. We're going to try that. Hopefully the jaw and the subframe isn't forced open for some reason. We didn't really struggle taking those out, so I don't know why that would be a factor, but we'll try a different arm in there. A certain percentage of every batch is just flawed or defective, so give that a try. The rear door panel went back on this car today. It was the rear, I think it was this one, rear left. Yeah. So this was coming apart and the glue had failed in there. So we re-glued that, resealed the vapor barrier. That's back together and done. They replaced the front mesh grille today, pulled the bumper, and put one in without holes in it. So that's an improvement. And this thing's ready to go minus an alignment, which we couldn't get in today. It's going to go in Monday for the alignment. We're going to get some more miles on this thing, or get some miles on this thing. Rear fender liners are delayed out of Illinois. Of course they are. So we'll have those by the end of the week, hopefully next week. But we can drive it a little bit without rear liners. We'll get some wheels on it. The exhaust is done. Got it fired up today. Sounds good. No exhaust leaks or valve cover leaks. Still got to do the washer pump. But we need to get miles on it and get it smogged because the registration is due on Tuesday. So we'll see how close to that. See if we can get miles on it before then. Rear parcel shelf is not in yet because we have only like 2 of the speakers working. I'm thinking it's an amp, but I don't want to put stuff together and then have to tear it apart if we do need speakers in the back. But the meat and potatoes today was spent on this one, Bouncy, with doing the MPI. Got the results off to him. He's going to review them over the weekend. We're going to touch base early next week, see what he wants to do. Came up with a lot of stuff, some cosmetics, some mechanicals. At a minimum, we've got to do all 4 door lock actuators. They're really lazy. Some of them are sticking shut. And with 05 IM interior panels, like you can't just go on eBay and buy that. And that is a beautiful condition door panel. I would hate to screw that thing up. So we'll see if he's going to do that. It's, you know, way over his budget to do all 4 of those, plus the time and the vapor barriers and fixing the door panels that we know are going to need some repair. They all seem to go in the same spot. In fact, next time I have mine off, I'm going to fix mine. The glue just fails up here, and it stays like that, but it's loose, right? Like you don't see it hanging out like the leather ones. The leather shrinks a little bit and pulls it out. The vinyl at least stays there, but it is loose nonetheless. I adjusted the headlights on the 545. They were, I think, just adjusted all the way down for some reason. So I got the screwdriver, and they work just like the E39. You just, you know, shine it out on the road or point it at a wall and twist the screwdriver on the adjuster for the vertical aim and raise those up quite a bit. So that should be a nicer drive home tonight. The adaptive cruise control code is just the sensor being maladjusted. And I looked at the ISTA process for adjusting the sensor. You need a mirror, you need a laser pointer thing. Oh yeah, now the head, oh, look at him rise up. Isn't that nice? That's the way that should be. I don't, you know, I have a mirror, I have a laser pointer, but it's not the factory ones that are going to be at a right angle, measure from this distance, and then measure how many millimeters within 0.1 millimeter accuracy. Literally, that's how accurate it wants to be. And for adaptive cruise, it has the little bubble thing in the front bumper. So I don't think I have the equipment to get that aligned. Hopefully it is just an initialization process that needs to carry out. None of the radio inputs work. That's a separate issue. We don't see any codes for it. You know, it comes up with Sirius, weatherband, AM, FM, and CD, and they all seem to be grayed out. None of them play anything, so I don't know if we have a bad amp or what. Like I said, there's no codes for it, so I'm kind of at a lost cause there, what's going on with the radio, but we'll figure it out. With that, I got a haircut today. Feels way better. I know when I need a haircut because A, I get the mane, and B, I have to go back for seconds on the shampoo, which is wasteful. So now I'll be using too much. My car's done. I just spoke with the guy in LA. It was aligned today. It is ready for pickup tomorrow. We've got a birthday brunch tomorrow at 11 a.m. For Dylan. And then I think Larissa and I are gonna head up to Los Angeles, pick up the car, get it back here. I've got to swap wheels around. I like to look at everything and check a few torques so I know everything is done perfectly. And then we should be back on the road. Anyways, that's the end of Friday. I'm just gonna go home and shower, hang out with Larissa a little bit, go to bed early. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Saturday. I think we're gonna try to hit Cars and Coffee. It's been a long time since I've been able to make it over to Rancho. Tomorrow looks really nice. So we're gonna try to do that early, which definitely means I wanna go to bed early tonight. I gotta check a few things before I lock up. All right, talk to you guys Saturday. Good night.